Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday Conversation. It's always a good day when we can take a field trip with this conversation. We're at historic Golden Park, what it used to be, now Synovus Park, home of the Columbus Clingstones. And our guest is Jack Johnson. You won't see a lot of Jack this year, but you're sure going to hear a lot of him. He's the voice of the Clingstones. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you very much, Chuck. It's good to be with you.
Good to have you here. I'm going to put you, I want to hear your radio voice. I want to hear it. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Turn and face this beautiful field and tell me what you see out there right now and what you're going to see.
I see the results of a lot of hard work. I see the results of dreams from not just Diamond Baseball Holdings, the city of Columbus, but individuals that have poured their time, their hard-earned money into revitalizing this ballpark and kickstarting the next generation of baseball here in Columbus, and I'm thrilled about it.
And you're going to be a part of that. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
I'm from San Jose, California originally, so it's a long ways from Columbus. I packed up my Honda Accord and I drove across America to get here just a few weeks ago. I went to Arizona State in college, and I spent the last 2 years in Gwinnett. So I'm familiar with the state of Georgia. I'm familiar with the Atlanta Braves organization, and so this was kind of the natural next step for me.
Are you a graduate of the Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State?
I am. Yeah.
That's an outstanding school that's produced a lot of top-notch talent over the years. What'd you learn at Arizona State in the Cronkite School?
The value of air conditioning, to start.
So you're a smart aleck.
Yeah.
Okay, we've established it now. Okay, we're good. Now,
but yeah, I think a lot of it was just how incredibly hard you have to work, how incredibly dedicated you have to be to succeed in any form of journalism or broadcasting, the dedication that goes into it. I think a lot of people, and probably rightly so, because the time that they spend with a broadcaster or a journalist is the time that airs. They don't see the work and the preparation that goes into it beforehand, or the dedication, the editing, and the time spent to honing your craft after the fact. And so it really was eye-opening to me into how the best and the brightest and the future of broadcasting get it done and perform at the level that they do. And I just wanted to try to emulate that. And I feel like I've done okay so far.
You're like the guys that are going to be playing on this field behind us. They're all trying to get to the big leagues. You know, Ben Ingram, the Braves play-by-play radio guy.
Sure.
He was a double A guy, right? I mean, do you have the aspirations of making it to the show too?
I do. I've always had that since I was probably 5 or 6 years old. But I think in the case you talk about, like Ben Ingram, Ben was a Mississippi native who got to broadcast for his Mississippi Braves, and that catapulted his career. But it was only the time that he spent where his feet were in Mississippi. It was the time I spent in Gwinnett where my feet were with the Stripers and the Braves AAA affiliate. And right now I'm really just kind of focused on being here in Columbus, because there's so much I haven't unpacked about this team, about this community, about this ballpark. There's going to be stories to tell that'll probably take me years, not months, to finally get to. And that's what I'm most excited about, is learning that and absorbing that and connecting this community to their team.
You probably haven't even unpacked your apartment yet.
No, I got a couch yesterday, so that was a start. I've been, I'll tell you one thing though, Chuck. The first day I got here, I had so many kind people that I met on Facebook Marketplace, and I bought some furniture from them. I bought a mattress and a box spring and a bed frame, and it's slowly come together. And the kindness of those people saying, "What else do you need? What else can we get you?" And one of them reached out to a friend, and they were selling a couch, fairly inexpensive, and I was able to get a friend of mine to help me pick it up yesterday. You know, it's those small things like that that have already really initiated me into this community, and I've enjoyed it.
As you become the voice of the Clingstones, a play-by-play guy on radio, which is what you'll be doing most of, I guess, a play-by-play guy on radio is a storyteller. Are you a natural storyteller?
I would say so, but I also think that that's not open for my interpretation. I think that's open to the audience. If I do a good job this year and in the years to come, it will be like I said, how can I connect this community and not just in the city of Columbus, but surrounding areas or family and friends that are listening to this game or watching this game from around the country or around the world, because baseball is a global sport. How can I connect them to the players and to the team? If I'm doing that well, and in the eyes of the listener, the eyes of my audience, if they believe that, then I would probably characterize myself as a natural storyteller, but I certainly like to hope so.
It's eyes and ears, right?
Right.
You know, I'm looking forward to seeing what you do here, but we've got to take a very quick break. You're watching the Sunday Conversation. Jack Johnson, the voice of the Columbus Clingstones, is our guest. We'll be right back on the other side. Welcome back to the Sunday Conversation from beautiful Synovus Park, joined by Jack Johnson. Jack is the voice of the Columbus Clingstones. This place, you have no idea. You're seeing it for the first time like this. You have no idea what this looks like. You're the first interview from the new Synovus Park. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. And like you said, I mean, the history of this ballpark, it would be like if these walls could talk, but we knocked down a lot of those walls to put in new wall pads and a state-of-the-art facility that still keeps the character of this nearly 100-year-old ballpark. And so it's the perfect blend. It's the nexus of the old and the new in baseball, the last 100 years of our national pastime and where it's going to take us in this next century. And it's cool to be sitting here at the crossroads with you.
You are. I mean, we are at a crossroads, and I know a little bit about the history of this place because I used to watch the Columbus Mudcats back in the late 80s, early 90s, the last time they played AA ball here. You know, when people watch AA professional baseball, this isn't Summer Wood Bat League. I mean, these are guys that could be playing in Atlanta tomorrow night, the next night, right?
They certainly could, and they certainly have been. You look back when this team was in Mississippi, how many players went straight to the show, went straight to Atlanta? The first one that sticks out in recent memory, as Braves fans will recognize, Michael Harris II, center fielder for the Braves, was called up from Mississippi, entirely skipped AAA, went on to win Rookie of the Year.
He didn't need AAA.
He didn't need AAA. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're really that good. Spencer Schwellenbach last year was promoted to AAA to throw a bullpen, and while he was unpacking his bags, got the call to the show, and a few nights later was pitching for the Atlanta Braves, and now he's a fixture in their organization, right? So I think the really cool aspect of it, Chuck, is that you could be seeing a Clingstone today and an Atlanta Brave tomorrow.
And you get to tell that story. And one of the good things about, and I've seen a whole group of people that do what you're doing that have come through here. Some of them become friends. But when you look at this, you're telling a story every night. But at the end of the day, the season is a book, right?
Yes.
Is that how you look at it from a broadcaster standpoint?
I think so. I think that you have to understand that the story, if you rolled it all the way out, like I mentioned, opening night will be chapter 1. It'll be the first words of this season. But the story of baseball in Columbus and the story of Golden Park, now Synovus Park, that's already been written over the course of 100 years. So we're picking up a new book in the same series. And so mixing all those stories together will be challenging, but it'll be incredibly fun.
You sound like, for somebody who's younger, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Okay. You have a deep respect for history, or at least
I do.
That's what's coming out. Do you think that's why this job's a perfect fit for you, as you do understand the past and how it plays into the present and even the future?
I think I've fallen in love with this ballpark. I love the community that I've gotten to know. There's a ton of history in just Columbus in general. There's a ton of history in the state of Georgia. You got to understand, I'm from California, where in Silicon Valley, the oldest building's probably 30.
You a surfer guy?
I wasn't, and I don't know exactly why that was the case, because I would have loved to pick it up. No, I picked up golf, and every time I walk by the beach, I think this would be a lot more fun. I don't know why I did this, but yeah, I swam from a young age, so maybe I'll end up a surfer once again and to complete the cycle. But yeah, I have a deep respect for the history of the game and the history of broadcasting, and I think that's what's positioned me hopefully for success.
Let me ask you a generational question. When you look, people of my generation grew up listening to Pete Van Wieren, Skip Carey, to Vince Scully, to all these great broadcasters. We listen to them in bed when we're going to sleep as kids and then on down in life. How do people your age connect in today's social media world? How does somebody doing an old school job bring the new, younger generation into it?
I think I can only answer for myself. I don't want to speak on behalf of a whole generation, so here's what I will say. I think our most cherished memories, especially surrounding sports, exist prior to our teenage years. And for me, fortunately, being born in the year 2000, a lot of the social media and technological advancements and revolution that we've seen in the 21st century existed in my teenage years. So from the time I was born till the time I was 12, it was 20th century technology. It was VHS tapes, it was landlines, and it was radio. And my parents bought me a radio with a CD player, but it also connected to KMBR 680. And so they would send me to bed, but I would still get to listen, whether they knew or not, to the 7th, 8th, 9th innings of Giants games on the radio with John Miller, a legendary broadcaster, Dave Fleming, who was up and coming at the time and has really established himself, Dwayne Kuiper, Mike Krukow. Those guys practically raised me. And so listening to those at night, I connect to generations before that grew up listening to Vince Scully on the radio or Mel Allen on the radio. And that's the beauty of baseball.
There will be a ghost in this park. You bring up the Giants. Used to sitting right down there for many, many years was a guy named H.B. Speck Richardson. He was a longtime general manager of the Giants, made the Vita Blue trade. He was the Columbus guy who got his start in this park. And I can't walk in here without seeing the ghost of Speck down there, sitting there with a cigar and watching the ball game. I mean, so, you know, even though you're a Giants fan, those ghosts, those connections are there and you don't even know they're there.
Exactly, and that's what I'm so excited to find out. And stories like that you're telling me, I hope fans and people in Columbus will just continue to feed me stories all year, their experiences, because that's all going to be part of the mosaic of my broadcast, and I want them to feel as much of a part of it as I am.
Okay, Jack, how can people listen to you? Y'all open on the road.
We do.
April the 4th. Against the Biscuits over in Montgomery. Your home opener here, easy for me to say, I just struck out. Home opener here is going to be April the 15th.
Correct.
Against the hated Blue Wahoos of Pensacola, right?
Exactly, yeah. So April 15th we'll be here for opening night. It'll be a memorable night. We're giving out commemorative tickets to mark the occasion, but April 4th, like you said, that will be opening night for AA. We'll be on the road. You can listen to us 92.1 FM, a new partnership we have with 92.1 Sports Vision, DJ Jones over there, who does a terrific job. And you'll also be able to stream us on Bally Live, and if you have MILB TV, you can view us there. So there's no shortage of ways to consume a Clingstones game.
Well, I hope you call a lot of W's, Jack.
I hope so too.
And I hope I get to see you out here at the ballpark. You've been watching the Sunday Conversation. My guest has been Jack Johnson. He's the voice of the Columbus Clingstones. Minor League Baseball, real minor league baseball is returning to Columbus, Georgia. Hope you come back again next week for the next Sunday Conversation. It won't be as pretty as this, but we'll be somewhere.